They call him a flopper, a foul baiter, an unethical hooper, opposing crowds chanting free throw merchant. It's the easiest narrative to run with because when people can accept greatness, they do everything they can to discredit it. Because while Shai's critics say one thing, his peers tell a completely different story.
Nobody's been able to guard this man one-on-one all year.
He has the angles, he has a change of direction and the physicality, and then the touch to go along with it.
Yeah, Shai is the hardest guard in the NBA. You know, he's the hardest guy to cover one-on-one in the NBA.
But it's easy to play with Shai. Like, half the time you just sit there and watching this motherfucker.
I think SGA saved the NBA.
This is gonna sound crazy, I said, but we're looking at a Kobe Bryant being created.
When a championship coach looks in the camera and tells America and the world, there's nothing we can do about that.
We are witnessing one of the greatest players to ever play this game, and he deserves his respect and appreciation. You don't understand Shai Gilgeous-Alexander until you've seen the journey that turned a quiet guard into the soul of an NBA franchise, one that might just be on the verge of becoming a dynasty. Loyalty is rare in today's NBA. Players chasing better situations, teams chasing the next big name. It's a cycle that doesn't stop. So when the Oklahoma City Thunder found themselves at the bottom of the Western Conference in consecutive seasons, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was asked the question, would he ever want out considering all the losing?
I know what I signed up for, and I signed a 5-year extension. And I don't think we're going to be losing for much longer. I believe in this team, believe in the players we have on this team. And I think we're headed in the right direction and we'll be where we want to be soon.
Nobody knew it at the time, but this statement came with pure conviction. The chaos of the 2019 NBA offseason is what brought Shai to the OKC Thunder. Him and Danilo Gallinari were thrown into a package that included 6 first-round draft picks to get Paul George. This move in the Russell Westbrook trade was a clear statement by the Oklahoma City Thunder that they were hitting the reset button, entering a new era. And they wanted Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a 21-year-old guard entering his second season in the NBA, to be the one to lead that new era. In his rookie season with the Clippers, SGA averaged just 10 points per game. So this was a lot to ask.
My biggest concern, honestly, was, will the Thunder like me?
The Thunder had no idea what they just got in this trade, and the Clippers had no idea what they just let get away.
SGA, stutter step, hard the rim, and he climbs the ladder for the slam. SGA trying to size up Russell. Oh, what a nifty move.
I think in the quarter for the Hornets as Gilgeous-Alexander off the spin and is able to swivel home the deuce.
Just carves up defenses like a hot knife through butter.
It's safe to say that the Thunder didn't just like Shai, they absolutely loved him. In his first year with the team, he averaged 19 points per game, followed by the next 2 where he averaged 24. He had completely leveled up here in Oklahoma City, and they were ready to give him the keys to this rebuild. In 2023, he had his breakout season, averaging 31 points per night, becoming one of just 6 players in the league who averaged at least 30 that year. It was also his first season being recognized as an NBA All-Star, and he even earned himself a spot on the All-NBA first team. People love SGA. He was one of the NBA's rising stars that was a pure bucket. Nobody cared that he was averaging nearly 11 free throws per game this season. It wasn't a narrative. People just appreciated his game. But even with Shai's next level performances, the Thunder still weren't good enough, winning just 40 games that season and being knocked out of the play-in tournament.
And we'll be where we want to be soon.
Now, before we really see the rise of SGA, I need to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Arena Club. With Arena Club, you can open packs to get real graded trading cards right here on their website. Whether you're interested in football, baseball, basketball, or Pokemon cards, they've got it, with packs ranging from $25 and higher. Now, I'm about to open this Ruby pack right here, as you can see. And right now, the grill is LeBron James, a rookie LeBron James 2003 card. And then we also have these cards right here. There is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We could potentially get him as well. Giannis, y'all know I love Giannis. All right, here we go. Time to open this pack up right now, man. And we're about to see what we end up getting. What are we gonna get? Okay, Amen Thompson. Y'all know this dude is a lockdown defender, and I love defense. I like this pull a lot, man. That's a big one. I like that. Now, right here, as you can see, this is my showroom, which shows all the different cards that I have. And this is the Amen Thompson that we just got. As you can see here, you can either auction off the card, you can set a price for it. On this tab right here as well, you can see the offer that we just got from Arena Club for it. And another option is that if you really like the card, you can have it physically shipped to you as well. This right here is the future of trading cards, man. And right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/WillSoTrill and using my code WillSoTrill. Y'all let me know what y'all end up pulling, but let's get back to it. Over the last couple seasons, all those draft picks that OKC has stacked up were beginning to pay off, especially their picks from the 2022 NBA draft, where they selected Chet Holmgren 2nd overall with their own pick and Jalen Williams 12th overall with the Clippers pick. Jalen Williams had himself a promising rookie campaign last year. He showed flashes that he could become a really good player in this league, potentially the number 2 to SGA. But for Chet Holmgren, he missed that entire season after suffering a foot injury. He also had the potential to be a number 2 to SGA and one of the most impactful defenders in this league with his freakish 7'1" frame. The upcoming 2023-2024 NBA season would be his first chance to prove himself. The Thunder were entering the season with a promising squad, and their superstar was about to take them to the top.
Pulls the string on Champagny. Oh, somehow kept the pivot foot down, and the brilliance of SGA continues. Shai deciding what he wants to do. Spinning on Randall, got inside, and then he scoops it up and in off the glass. What a move.
From opening night, this season was different in Oklahoma City. SGA was having another spectacular season, averaging 30 points per game for a consecutive year. He was now solidified as one of those players that you had to fear every single night. But here's where things really changed. The Oklahoma City Thunder as a team had become a force to be reckoned with. Jalen Williams taking a leap, playing at a near all-star level. Chet Holmgren having a spectacular rookie campaign. Amazing defensive efforts from the entire team, and when capped off by an MVP level season from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Thunder were the best team in the West. Just last year, they were a 10 seed, eliminated from the play-in tournament. They weren't supposed to be this good this soon. A roster with an average age of 24 years old, the youngest team in the NBA. These young guys were tearing the league up, way ahead of schedule. But the success of this team was all centered around their superstar point guard, because anytime OKC needed something, SGA was there to deliver.
Probing, piercing, spinning, hanging for the lead, and SGA knocks it down. Inside, the pass, jump shot is up. It's good with 1.8 remaining. Gilgeous-Alexander nails it.
Naturally, this made him a serious MVP candidate.
Does SGA have a case for MVP over Jokic?
A case? He's getting my vote for MVP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander averaged 30.9 points per game, 2nd in the NBA. Career high 54.4% shooting from the field. Led the league in steals with 2.1 a game. The number 1 seed in the Western Conference.
SGA would end up just losing out on the MVP award as he finished 2nd, but that was fine to him. This season was never about getting named MVP, it was about taking OKC to the promised land. This franchise had seen MVP winners, but the city had never seen a championship. It was Shai's mission to change that.
The biggest thing is I just want to win a championship.
The NBA playoffs are a different animal. It's here where having experience in the postseason is often the deciding factor in a series. And that's experience that the Oklahoma City Thunder didn't have. But because they secured the 1 seed during the regular season, they were able to land an easier first round matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans, another team that didn't have much playoff experience. The Thunder took full advantage of this, as this series was never once in doubt. They swept the Pelicans to win their first playoff series in 8 years. A playoff series that was powered by the play of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Pelicans had some great defenders to throw at SGA, but it never mattered, because it wasn't a player in his league who could contain what he had become. The second round of the playoffs was set to bring on a much more difficult opponent for the Thunder, a Dallas Mavericks team led by Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. A big story coming into the series was the Luka Doncic and SGA debate. Of these two elite point guards, who's really the best one in the league? This series had a chance to settle those debates. And over the course of a 6-game series, it was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander who individually stood out as the best player in it. He was absolutely cooking, as the Mavs defense never had an answer for him at any point across these 6 games. He even managed to make a statement defensively in this series, averaging over 2 blocks per game. Shai had done almost everything right, but it wasn't enough, because Game 6 saw the Oklahoma City Thunder with their backs against the wall, facing elimination down 3-2 in this series. SGA was sensational in this game, 36 points and 8 assists, but it was his own mistake that ultimately cost his team the game and the season. With 2 seconds left, he had fouled PJ Washington on a 3. Shai got ball first, but because Washington never lost possession of the ball, the contact afterwards was a shooting foul. PJ Washington's free throws would win the game, and the OKC Thunder season was over.
I shouldn't have fouled him. We talk about it all year, the little things that go into winning games and being disciplined, and it sucks. Obviously, if I had the moment back, I wouldn't have fouled him, but it's not the way life works. You can't. You just have to learn from it, and I will definitely learn from it. But moments like this is what makes, the champions.
If you're locked into the story and enjoying the video so far, just know that this isn't the only one. There's many more on the channel and many more coming soon. So don't miss out. 93% of you watching right now are not subscribed, which means 93% of you are missing out on more videos just like this one. Hit that subscribe button as we push for that big 100K milestone. Last season's defeat in the second round was heartbreaking for the Thunder, but it would be a necessary growing pain for this young squad and for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Thunder front office also recognized how close this core of players was to breaking through, so they made a trade to bolster their defense by acquiring Alex Caruso and brought in a much needed big man by signing Isaiah Hartenstein. These weren't blockbuster moves, but OKC didn't need blockbuster moves to get over the hump. These two acquisitions might just be more than enough to take this team to the next level. But it wasn't just about adding to what they already had, because what they already had was young players on the roster who had the potential to get so much better. Chet entering year 2, J-Dub entering year 3, SGA entering year 7, possibly the prime of his career. Last season's leap was significant for the Thunder. This season was historic. Following a 15-game win streak where the Thunder didn't lose for an entire month, they held down a 30-5 record, well on pace to win more than 60 games this season. Their defense was smothering teams, having 5 high-level defenders on the court at almost all times, with a few of those guys being truly elite. Offensively, J-Dub had taken another step up as his team's second option, Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins increasing their production as options off the bench. But the heartbeat of this team remained the same, and he was deadlier than ever. Shai had already delivered some statement performances this season, a 45.9 assist game in a win against the Clippers where he picked their defense apart. The step back 3-pointers, the insane finishing from difficult angles at the basket, and his mid-range jumper that was always so pure no matter the contest. In a difficult stretch of road games taking on Sacramento, Golden State, and Los Angeles, Shai averaged 36 points per game, leading the Thunder to a win in each of these 3 games on that difficult road trip. He put up 39 points in a win against Dallas, 40 points in a win against Minnesota, and a 33-point game against Boston where he took over the fourth quarter.
Out of the picture. Tough shot, SGA drills the step back 3. To hit ahead to Tatum, caught it in trap. SGA caught him at the rim. 5 on 4, Hartenstein. And wisely decides to pull it out despite all the pressure. Keeps his dribble alive, pulls up, mid-range shot. And SGA with a little camper of his own.
I asked Ant, hey, what do you think of what you're seeing from SGA right now?
Yep.
And without hesitation, he said the MVP of the NBA.
Last season, Shai came up short in the MVP race. This year, he refused to be denied. The first 35 games of the season had already sent a message to this league, but he was about to turn it up even more.
Special. Special indeed.
How about this? When you're feeling it, folks. You know, I don't know if I can call this in the zone because he's just playing ball.
This is, I believe, the best mid-range game player we have in the league right now.
He may be the hardest guy, I would imagine. I'd like to hear an argument against to guard in the NBA.
SGA was now averaging a league-high 32 points a night, while the Thunder had a 52-11 record running laps around the Western Conference. The MVP buzz was as real as it gets, holding down the #1 spot on the NBA's MVP ladder early into March. And that player in second place, they were set to face one another in the next game, a game with some extra motivation for Shai. This was the battle for the 2025 MVP, the reigning MVP Nikola Jokic versus the man that was looking to take that title away from him in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I'm the best player on the floor, and I want everybody in the arena to know that and feel that.
Gilgeous-Alexander again goes to the left hand. He makes it look so easy when he puts the ball on the floor. Difficult to pick Shai up that far out on the floor. Block from Williams. SGA in the open floor attacks, counting, and a foul on Jokic.
Shai was already the favorite to win MVP, and this showdown increased his odds even more, because what he had just done this season couldn't be denied. History had been made on so many levels by SGA. He led OKC to heights that they hadn't even seen with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, 68 wins in the regular season, with the highest margin of victory in league history. Shai's scoring precision was on another level, nearly 33 points per game on 52% shooting, a mark only matched by 6 other players in the history of this league, and only one of those players had a higher true shooting percentage than Shai. It was also the 5th best season in NBA history for points per minute by a player, but those 4 players ahead of him all trail in efficiency. In 75 years of NBA basketball, we have never seen a player put up this many points per minute this efficiently. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had become completely unstoppable. He was in a league of his own. We were watching a player who had mastered this game. The way he uses patience, angles, rhythm, and footwork to break down defenders every single possession had become a beauty to watch. A basketball player that you just had to appreciate, but a lot of people didn't.
Minnesota needed some size here for the final minute.
No matter how great he was, no matter how many incredible moves that he pulled off, people had made up their minds in calling Shai Gilgeous-Alexander an unethical hooper that plays for fouls. But here's the most interesting part about that. Shai just put together the 32nd season in league history with an average of 32 points per game or more. Of all those seasons, he has the third lowest amount of free throws attempted, meaning for how much he was scoring, he was far from being a free throw merchant. SGA was averaging just shy of 9 free throws per game, second in the league to Giannis, but he was also leading the league in drives per game by far. He was getting to the line often, but he was doing it by being the most attacking player in the league. In the grand scheme of things, his 8.8 free throws per game really wasn't that significant.
Do you know how many players in history averaged over 30 and shot under 9 free throws? There's only a handful. Like Jordan shot 12 free throws a game. Kobe shot 10, 10, 10, 11. Allen Iverson shot 10, 10, 11. He shot, what, 8.8?
Of course, Shai has his moments with a flop that looks bad, but that's the NBA today across the entire league. We can't minimize the best all-around pure scorer in this league because he knows how to draw contact and get to the line. He doesn't need free throws to thrive. Take them away from every player in this league, including Shai, and he still leads the league in points per game. Free throws or not, nothing changes. He's still unstoppable. He's still the scoring champion. He's still the MVP. The narratives were getting nasty around SGA, but that didn't matter to him. He was only focused on one thing. The young Oklahoma City Thunder were back on the big stage, and this time they were expected to go all the way. All season long, they had been the best team in the NBA. It was championship or bust, even with a young roster. Their first round opponent was the AC Memphis Grizzlies, an opponent known for being relentless. But in game 1, that didn't show. The Oklahoma City Thunder obliterated Memphis, showing the rest of the NBA that they were something serious now. Shai had his worst game of the season, and they still managed to win by 52 points. Game 2 was another blowout, but game 3 was getting interesting. Memphis had turned things up a notch in their home arena, leading this game by as many as 29 points. But Oklahoma City was about to reach a gear that the Grizzlies had never seen before. Because in that second half, they completely dominated on both sides of the ball, outscoring Memphis 63-31 to completely flip this game around. It felt like the Grizzlies were destined to win this game, but OKC snatched it away, taking a commanding 3-0 series lead. With a chance to bring out the brooms in this series, SGA had his first masterclass of the 2025 NBA playoffs in Game 4. This defense gave him troubles over the first few games of this series, but now he had completely figured them out. Just in time to deliver a dagger to move on to the second round.
Williams is on him, step back shot, and SGA buries it! And that might just bury the Grizzlies!
The 2025 NBA MVP award had come down to 2 players, and these 2 players would be facing off in the second round of the playoffs. Only one of these players would walk away from this series with the MVP trophy. Only one of these players would walk away from this series with their season still alive. It was a highly anticipated matchup with the weight that it carried between 2 of the NBA's best players. Players both trying to build a legacy for themselves. May the best one win. Game 1 was a battle that the Thunder maintained control over for almost the entire game. But in the fourth quarter, specifically the final minutes, they absolutely collapsed. SGA was spectacular tonight, 33 points with 13 of those in the final quarter, but at the end of the game, it ultimately didn't matter.
5 seconds, they're down by 1. Gordon got it! The Nuggets steal game 1!
OKC handed their first loss of the postseason, but nobody could have expected the way that they would bounce back in game 2 because they look like a completely different team. The Nuggets got dominated all night long. They never stood a chance at any point in this game. The Thunder had took it to that gear. SGA with a hyper-efficient 34 points, leading OKC to a 46-point win over Denver, the ultimate response by the Thunder. But Game 3 brought yet another late-game collapse in the series by the Thunder. They allowed Denver to force overtime and had lost all the momentum, ultimately losing this game. A 2-1 deficit for OKC. They were in trouble.
As you're walking off the floor, you had a big smile. What's going through your mind at that moment?
Some fans were taunting me, and I know how the game goes. I know how life is. It's easy to taunt, and when you're up and nothing's written, the series is not over, and we have a lot to be optimistic about.
Off the screen, got to the mid-range and cashes out again.
They cut off SGA initially. That won't stop them. And a chance for 3.
And just like that, the Thunder were back in control of the series. MVP performances from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, where he truly stood out in the clutch when his team needed it the most. The Thunder had a chance to finally put this resilient team away in Game 6, but they could not get it done. Game 7 was on the way. It took the NBA a long time to finally announce the winner of the 2025 MVP, which was expected much earlier into the series. But prior to Game 7 was now the perfect opportunity for the announcement, and it just had to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now there was a do-or-die game to play. If Shai and the Thunder lost it, that would be the ultimate embarrassment. But it was never once in doubt.
It's where you have a first half. Oh, Hartenstein on the follow. Here comes Williams. Rises up and throws it down. Gilgeous-Alexander nails the three. Back to Williams. Inside. It's good. Thunder right now in control. SGA connects on a three. Here's Wallace. Goes at Jokic. Oh, he throws it down. A thunderous dunk from Cason Wallace, and the crowd erupts again.
One of the biggest margins of victory ever in a Game 7 by the Oklahoma City Thunder. They had just survived the ultimate test against a team with championship experience. This was a series that would give them supreme confidence moving forward, and the league MVP decision 100% validated. The Thunder carried this confidence forward into the Western Conference Finals, where they dominated the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 1, and they did it again in Game 2. They were firing on all cylinders now. This young team had found their rhythm and racked up meaningful playoff experience. That was the NBA's biggest fear, but they hadn't fully found themselves yet, because Game 3 was their biggest embarrassment yet, a 42-point crushing loss in Minnesota. A crushing loss that Shai only knew one way to respond to, by delivering another MVP performance here in this postseason, 40 points, 10 assists, and a rebound away from completing the triple-double. He always managed to deliver in the biggest of ways when the Thunder needed him the most, so it was only natural that he did it yet again in Game 5, 34 more points to close out the Timberwolves. OKC was headed to the NBA Finals. The Thunder were expected to be here. They were the favorites to win the title coming into these playoffs, and certainly the favorites to make it out of the Western Conference. But out in the East, nobody could have anticipated that it would be the Indiana Pacers. All postseason long, they had delivered massively in the clutch to shock every single opponent that they faced along the way. The Thunder were, of course, the favorites to win this series, but there was no telling what this Pacers team could pull off. Game 1 was going exactly as expected. The Thunder were overwhelming the Pacers with their relentless defense and the offensive brilliance of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who they had no answer for. The lead was up to 15 points in the fourth quarter, and that's when Indiana started to do what they do. Shots started falling for the Pacers, and it didn't stop. They were on a serious run and slowly chipping away at that big deficit. Oklahoma City was in big trouble.
Halliburton driving, pulls up, jump shot. It's good! With 3/10 of a second remaining. Timeout, OKC. Tyrese Halliburton does it again.
They just did it again. This time in the NBA Finals against the team that everybody thought was the best in the NBA. This result made Game 2 a must-win for the Thunder. And as he had done all year long, Shai stepped up for his team yet again.
Gilgeous-Alexander jumper got it. Gilgeous-Alexander off the bounce, gets inside, double clutch, counted and a foul. Neesmith on SGA, trying to get rid of him, pulls up, jumper's good. Jump shot, SGA.
Yet another masterclass in this postseason, putting together a truly incredible run. But there were still 3 more games to win, and Indiana wasn't about to make this easy. Because in Game 3, they got another win in this series. Suddenly, the Thunder looked vulnerable, a 2-1 deficit. But this was somewhere that they had been before. Shai put on another show in Game 4 to even it all up, 35 points as the Pacers tried everything they could to slow him down. And back in OKC, the SGA show continued, another 30-point performance. He was making this look too easy. 30 points every night became expected, almost effortless. But the true hero of Game 5 was J-Dub, the second option to SGA, who had grown so much over this postseason. A 40-point performance as the Thunder now found themselves a win away from bringing the city their first ever NBA championship. But the Indiana Pacers refused to go down without a fight.
Cross-court Siakam for the slam!
There would be another Game 7 to decide the fate of their season. This Game 7 didn't exactly play out as it was supposed to, as Tyrese Halliburton suffered a ruptured Achilles in the first quarter after making the decision to play on a calf injury. He had given the Pacers early hope in this game, but that hope died without Halliburton. The Thunder controlled this game as SGA orchestrated the offense beautifully, 29 points and 12 assists to cap off an unbelievable playoff run, one where it all came together to bring Oklahoma City the one thing that they never had.
The Thunder have taken the NBA by storm. For the first time, the NBA champion resides in Oklahoma City.
For the first time in 25 years, the same player won the regular season MVP, the scoring title, And now he's your finals MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
The season that SGA just had, it is the best season by a guard in the NBA start to finish since Michael Jordan's prime.
We just witnessed history. One of the greatest seasons ever put together. A masterpiece by SGA. People called him a flopper, foul baiter, and free throw merchant. You can say whatever you want to say about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because at the end of the day, he isn't seeking your approval. He's seeking greatness.